Hi guys, welcome back. If you missed my last video, I basically just covered how I got started in content creation and some beginner steps that are good to take if you are interested in becoming a content creator. Also, like I mentioned in my last video, everything I'm going to be sharing with you guys is completely free. I don't want you guys to download any apps and have to pay money for them. I just think that's totally unnecessary, especially as you're starting out in content creating. Also, if you guys do have followers already, that's great, but I don't want you to be scared. Even if you have less than 500 followers, content creating is still absolutely a possibility for you, so don't let that scare you away. Today's video, I'm going to be talking about how I find inspo, whether it's for other companies I've worked for or for myself. I have a bunch of different saved folders on Instagram and TikTok where I save my inspo to. Inspo comes to me in a bunch of different ways, which I'll kind of talk about, and it's hard for me to stay organized, so I feel like I always have a bunch of random ideas just bouncing around in my head. So I'll talk to you guys about how I organize my ideas so I don't feel overwhelmed, and I'm also able to kind of categorize my inspiration, if that makes sense, the different platforms I use. Another thing I'm going to talk about today is how I write scripts. Honestly, writing scripts is my least freaking favorite part of content creating, or at least it used to be. It's not as bad now, but when I first started out, I hated it. It would honestly take me anywhere from like 30 minutes to an hour just to write a script. So I'm going to show you guys some of the hacks I learned working at different companies and how I write scripts under 10 minutes. Okay, so let's talk about how I find inspo first. I'm going to pull up my Instagram and I separate them into different save folders. Don't let this overwhelm you. I know this is a lot. I have a lot of different save folders. Okay, so first let's go to recreate. I have this one for my own personal use. So if you guys are more into creating content for yourself, then this is really important for you. It's really important just to stay up to date on trends. Most of the trends tend to start on TikTok. Like this is one that's trending right now that I'm planning on recreating. I thought this was cute and kind of aesthetic, so I saved her post. This is a trending song that's still kind of trending on TikTok, so this would be a really good time to use it on Instagram. Speaking of trending things, one important thing I'll touch on just really lightly right now is if you are seeing a sound that has that little arrow right there and says trending, that is a really good time to use the sound. Another thing I look for is even if it does have the arrow, I don't want it to have too many plays. For example, like let's just scroll through this page really quick on the Explore page. This one has an arrow and you'll see it has 40,000 uses. Next to where it says 10 in trending, it says 40.6K reels. So that means that over 40,000 people have used this. And if it's on a super popular artist and it's a trending sound on Instagram, it usually starts to decline. So think of it like a stock bro. And like picture a little graph. When the sound reaches its peak, it usually starts to fall. So when the sound is getting really popular and on the rise, is a really good time to use it because Instagram's gonna push your video out more. This one, this next sound, 15,000, it's an okay time to use it. I think if you wanna get the best engagement, then I try to use one like this, a really good time to use it. Back to the save folder. I'll even save like funny little memes, but you can get inspo from this and just put this text over your video. I do like to change it up a little bit. I don't want to just copy someone else's things without giving them credit, but if you want to like change it up a little bit or get inspo from these, like this is a good one. I'll be happy again when it's 75 and the sun sets at 9 p.m. I feel like this one is really close to this one, whereas only 9 Mondays left until the UV is high. Like switching words around like that and just gaining inspo from those things can be really good. Now, as far as brands that I've worked with, finding inspo for them. So the last company that I worked for, also I know there's a lot of accounts on here. It's scary. Company that I worked for was called Care Sky Nails. They're a huge nail brand. And when I first started the job, I knew nothing about nails. Like literally look at me guys. And they would ask me to come up with nail ideas. And I was like, how the heck am I gonna know? I know nothing about nails. I don't know what trends are in right now. And I'm showing you guys this so you can know that no matter what industry you're in or what type of product or brand you're trying to grow, it all kind of follows the same steps and you still need the same tools no matter what like industry you're in. So for nails, I just saved some looks that did really well or were trending or were cute. I would kind of take inspo from them. I would save like some funny memes too. This one I thought would be funny if we did a whole bunch of like the press-on nails or acrylics, or like have SpongeBob holding all their acrylics. So there's some days where like inspo just comes to me and I'm like, that's a cute video idea, I'll go make that right now. But there's also some days where I'm kind of lacking. So this folder makes it really easy, so you don't have to stress yourself out if you're trying to film content every day or every other day and are on a schedule and your creative juices aren't really flowing. This is the move. This has saved me so many times. There's a whole bunch of different ideas too. Like I have some longer ones like this one, or there's just like short little trends. I'm like, this is a funny one. We made it like a reel and I said like the first person on your list like owes you your Sky products. Something like that that's relatable, funny, and also increases engagement a lot. Whenever I see posts like this, I send it. I send it to my friend, I send it to my sister, I send it to my boyfriend. Like, these are funny. Another really good place to find inspo is Pinterest. I love Pinterest. I Also was unaware of how many nail trends pretty much started on Pinterest, like how ahead of the game Pinterest was. There's a lot of good like cover photo ideas too. If you're someone like me, I try to keep my feed like pretty aesthetic, even though some days it don't be looking like that. But there's a whole bunch of like, if I type in like soft girl aesthetic, that's what I try to match and go for. You can get some photo ideas for even just like cover photos or aesthetic reels. And then you can make a save folder on that, just on cover photos. Okay, let's talk about my least favorite part now, making and writing scripts. Not that bad. Maybe if it comes natural to you, good for you, love that. Like, I'm sure these tips still will make it a lot easier for you, but I just want to shoot the video. Yeah. So one of the videos I did for Clear Sky was of this apron that came out. Before we watch the video, let's talk about how I made the script. So I'm gonna type in ChatGPT, and it looks like this one right here. If you guys haven't used ChatGPT, it's this like AI chatbot. You can basically ask it anything. It has knowledge up until like 2022. So if you ask it about present day stuff, it might not know, but it's this really cool website. Like you can ask it anything. This is my secret weapon for everything from like captions to scripts, literally even recipes. There's been times where I tell it like, this is what's in my fridge, what meal can I make with it? And it just gives me a bunch of recipes. It's amazing. On the left too, what I love about it is that it saves like all the questions that you've asked it. There is a version you can pay for. I haven't found the need for it. I've had friends that pay for the full version and love it, but I actually haven't felt the need for it, and I don't like spending money, so. Let's actually go to my notes app really quick. So usually before I write a script, I make a few notes of some like key features I want to talk about. Also, I think it's really good is starting out with a hook, but also keep in mind that you want to talk about a problem that you want your audience to be aware of. Like for the apron that they released, I wanted to mention like, okay, now I won't be spilling on my clothes as much. Like it's such a hassle to always have to get up and down as a nail tech, and now like everything's right at my fingertips because it has pockets. So really keep in mind that you want to talk about a problem, but also talk about how this product helps solve that problem. That's really good, and you'll see that feature in a bunch of different ads. And you can follow along too if you are making, if you are working on a script, you can just follow this, but put in like your own information. So some key features I want to talk about for the apron are the adjustable neck. I also want to mention its pockets, because everyone loves pockets. And now everything is at my fingertips. No more getting, up and down. No more spilling. Obviously, as nail techs, they're going to be working with a lot of like gels and polishes, or even dust, so now they don't have to worry about ruining their clothes. So now with all those things in mind, let's start our script. So I'm going to ask it to write me a fun, and since I want to make this script like a little bit light and fun, I'm going to ask it to write me a fun and witty script about 30 seconds. And I do this before I record the video even. Like I have a couple shots in my mind, and then from there I write the script. And then I go back and forth between like planning the shots in my head or writing them in my notes app, and also like merging them with the script. Clear Sky Nails apron. So I asked it to write me a fun and witty script about 30 seconds that starts with a catchy hook about the new Clear Sky Nails apron. Mention it has pockets, so everything is right at my fingertips, and no more getting up and down, no more spilling on your clothes, and an adjustable neck to get the perfect fit. Okay, I think that sounds pretty good. Good thing to mention at the end is that like to make sure it sounds genuine also. We hit enter. Oh, okay. I actually made an error in mine. Now you can probably see that it gave me a bunch of stuff, and that is because I said script. A good thing to do, which I should have known, is to ask it to write you a 30-second voiceover, not script. Otherwise, it'll plan out like all the shots for you, which can be really helpful. So if you need that also, that's a good thing to do. For me though, I kind of like plan out the shots in my head, and then I just need it in words. Also, it's really important to tell ChatGPT how long you want the script. Otherwise, it could give you like a minute-long script for a 15-second video. So make sure you have that in mind. And I'm not gonna lie, the first script that it gives me, I never just take that and say, because I always make adjustments to like make it sound more natural and more like me. Obviously, I'm not gonna say, ladies and gents, listen up. Like what? Pockets, people, pockets that make your heart skip a beat? No. But what is really good about this is it will give you like some really good things to say. Saying your new nail BFF, that's cute. And like my catchy hook, I would say something like, I want to go off like, this is your new nail BFF. Say like, this is like a nail tech dream. Start off with like my hook. And sometimes I write down a couple different hooks too. I'll write like 3 down. This Apron is a nail tech's dream. And that's when I would go into some of the features. So I want to mention, let's see what it says about pockets. No more hunting for tools, everything's right at your fingertips. I like that a lot. No more nail polish, acrobatics. That's funny. No up and down, just fabulous. Okay, so I would say like the pockets are perfect. They fit so much. And then also, like while I'm writing this, I might have an idea of like some good shots to get. So like for this one, I'm picturing just like shoving a bunch of stuff in the pockets to show like it fits so much. No more hunting for tools. I would say something along those lines too. Probably just more like no more getting up and down because everything's right at my fingertips. I like that part. So I'll keep that last part in too. And I'd mention like no more constantly, because you want to make everything like a little bit more dramatic. So no more constantly getting up and down. That's just a little example. Another great app to use. It used to be called Bard, and it was like Google's form of ChatGPT, but now I think it's called Gemini, and I haven't used it since it became Gemini, so we'll actually use it together for the first time. What I'm gonna do is copy. There's sometimes when ChatGPT will give me like a pretty good script, and there's other times where like I'm gonna say Bard again. Gemini AI give me like a more natural sounding one. So this is Gemini. And it's the same thing as ChatGPT, so you can ask it whatever you want. Enter a prompt here. I'm gonna put in the exact same one. Write me a fun and witty voiceover, about 30 seconds. Voiceover that starts with a catchy hook about the new Carrie Sky Nails apron. Mention that it has pockets, everything is right at your fingertips, blah, 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 blah. All the same good stuff. The more info, the better though. The more info you give it, like the more knowledge it obviously has. So I'm gonna hit enter. New Carrie Sky apron. Like, that's pretty good. This is a stylish, comfy game changer with pockets galore. See, I wouldn't say galore, but like that's still a really good sentence. Keep your files, clippers, and all your nail art essentials right at your fingertips. Okay, Gemini is doing good right now. ChatGPT did not hit for this one, but Gemini did. Getting up and down, no more frantic searches for that missing brush. That's such a good part to mention because I'm sure all nail techs can relate to when they're just missing that one thing. Even I can relate to that when I'm just around my room, you know? So those are really good. And the best part, the adjustable neck ensures a perfect fit, whether you're a petite Picasso or a towering Titan. I wouldn't say that. Other thing that's really good about both of these sites is that you can customize it even more. So let's say you read the script and you're like, oh, I like it, but I want to take that part out. You could be like, you could talk to like a person, like, I like this, but I want it to sound more funny. And then I'll give you like a funnier version. Or you can be like, I like this, but I want it to be a minute instead of 30 seconds. You can type any of that in and it gives you a whole new script. It needs so much time. I can't believe I wasn't doing this before. Honestly, it's crazy. I know that ChatGPT has an app too. I wasn't a huge fan of the app. It told me that I only had it told me I could only use like 10 prompts a day. I don't know if it's still that way. Personally, I just don't want another app on my phone, so I don't mind just going to ChatGPT and just typing it in. But after all that and merging the scripts together, it took me probably about like 5 to 6 minutes. Really easy. And this is the script I came up with. Here is a nail tech stream. Let me show you guys. The pockets are literally perfect. I can stash my drill, brushes, and so much more. Just look at how much fits in here. So no more constantly getting up and down during work. Everything's right at my fingertips, and it's such a game changer. And this neck strap is fully adjustable. And if you're into that extra secure vibe, you can wrap it around for that perfect fit while you work, without having to worry about spilling dust or monomer and ruining your clothes. So I can finally put all my focus on where it matters, which is my client. And not only is it cute, but it keeps me organized, which is my top priority for 2024. And when they came out with this apron, it was the very beginning of January. So you have to keep in mind like what everyone's going through in different times of the year. Like obviously around like October, November, December, people are spending a whole lot more. So it's easier to sell products. I want to think more about like what can we gift people. So when you're creating ads or content, you want to be thinking of like what are people going to engage with more? Obviously it's going to be like things they can gift their boyfriend or girlfriend, mom, dad, all that stuff. So for this one, since it came out in January, it was all about like staying organized. A lot of people come up with like New Year's resolutions, so it was all about like fitting into that vibe. Talk about another script I did. And I literally follow that same format of going to ChatGPT and going to Gemini and typing in the same prompt for all of my scripts. And I know I talked about Billow in my last video. It's where you can like create content without having any followers or having to post it on your own account. The reason I love it is because sometimes there's brands that will just give you the script. So it'll literally take me like 15 minutes to pop out a video and then get paid for it. But I will link both those sites below, so let me know which one you guys prefer more. Me, it honestly just depends on the day. I don't know, sometimes ChatGPT is acting up and I prefer Gemini. Today was definitely one of those days. But again, it also kind of depends on the vibe that the brand's going for. There's some brands that lean into more of like a cheesy tone, and there's other ones that really want to be like genuine and real with their audience is. Okay, so let's talk about trending audio and where to find it. I just find it by scrolling the explore page and what you want to look for. And I know I mentioned looking for one that has like the arrow going up on it, making sure it doesn't have too many uses. Okay, like one like this, it doesn't have the arrow. and it's got like 71,000 reels. So during the time it's got like more than 20,000 uses when I like kind of staying away from it. Because at this point, picture a little graph, it's probably starting to decline. Thank you guys for watching. I'm hoping that you're finding all these tips useful. Super excited for my next video where I'm gonna be talking about apps I use to edit. Whether you're beginner or advanced, this next video has a bunch of tricks that make video editing super easy. And of course, they're free. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you check out the links below, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!